Patricia's doctor couldn't explain the improvement in her circulation after she started this nightly castor oil and rosemary routine, but Patricia knew. She could feel her toes again for the first time in years. At 72, she says it's the best discovery she's ever made. Here's exactly what she does every night. Tonight, I'm going to share something that changed how I think about those cold toes and stiff fingers that wake us up at 3 a.m. It's just castor oil and rosemary. Yes, the same rosemary from your spice cabinet, but here's what they don't tell you. When you combine them the right way, something interesting happens. I've watched people in their 70s finally feel their toes warm up after years of wearing double socks to bed. Let me be straight with you. I'm not promising miracles, but stick with me for the next few minutes, because I'll show you exactly why Barbara from Phoenix noticed pink, warm toes after just 4 nights, and why Tom from Michigan says his morning walk doesn't hurt anymore. The best part? You probably have everything you need in your kitchen right now. Let me quickly explain why this simple combo makes sense. You know how your car needs both oil and coolant to run smoothly? Your skin works kind of the same way. Castor oil, that thick, honey-like oil your grandmother probably kept around, it's like a protective blanket. It has something called ricinoleic acid. Fancy name, I know. But think of it as nature's deep moisturizer. It doesn't just sit on top. It actually sinks in and helps things move better underneath. Now, rosemary, that's the interesting part. You probably think of it as just for cooking lamb or chicken, right? Well, turns out this little herb has compounds, let's call them circulation helpers, that make your skin feel tingly and alive. When old-timers used to rub rosemary on their joints, they weren't just being superstitious. They were onto something. Together, it's like having a gentle heater and a massage therapist working on your feet at the same time. The castor oil carries the rosemary deeper, and the rosemary helps the blood move better near the surface. Simple as that. Here's what you'll need from the kitchen. Listen, I've tried the fancy stuff from health stores. $50 for a tiny bottle. Waste of money. Here's all you really need. 3 tablespoons of castor oil, cold-pressed if you can find it, but regular works too. Walmart has it for about $6. 1 tablespoon dried rosemary, or 2 tablespoons fresh from your garden, roughly chopped. 2 tablespoons of a lighter oil, olive oil from your pantry is perfect, or that almond oil you bought and never used. A small glass jar with a lid, an old jam jar works perfectly. Something to strain with, coffee filter, clean dish towel, even a paper towel in a pinch. A warm towel, just run it under hot water. Cotton socks and maybe some thin cotton gloves, those cheap white ones from the dollar store. You know what? If you're missing something, don't stress. I once made this with just castor oil and dried rosemary from a pizza seasoning packet. Still worked. Before we continue, if you don't have castor oil or any of the ingredients, check the description or the pinned comment for Amazon links. Here's the easy warm method to make it at home, and this is where most people mess up. They just dump everything together cold and wonder why it feels sticky. Let me show you the right way, the way my friend Dorothy, a retired nurse from Cleveland, taught me. Fill a small pot with water. Not boiling, just hot enough that you see steam rising. Like when you make tea, but forget about it for a minute. In your jar, mix the castor oil, rosemary, and 1 tablespoon of your lighter oil. Put the lid on loose, not tight, just enough to keep water out. Set that jar in the hot water like it's taken a nice bath. Let it sit there for about 45 minutes to an hour. Every 10 minutes or so, grab it with a towel. It gets warm, give it a good swirl, and put it back. You'll notice the oil starts to smell like Sunday dinner. That's when you know the rosemary is releasing its good stuff. The oil might turn a bit greenish or golden. That's perfect. That means those helpful compounds are mixing in. After an hour, take it out and let it cool until it's just warm to the touch, like a nice cup of coffee you can actually drink. Now, here's a trick. Strain it through your filter into a clean jar. Press down on those rosemary bits with a spoon to get every drop. If you happen to have a vitamin E capsule, the kind for skin, poke it with a pin and squeeze a few drops in. Shake it up gentle-like. This helps it last longer, but, honestly, it works fine without it too. Quick story about Barbara. She's 73, lives in Phoenix, where it's supposed to be warm all the time, right? But her toes? Ice cold, even in July. She'd been to 3 different doctors. They all said poor circulation and sent her home with compression socks that cost $40 a pair. First night we tried this blend, I warmed a tiny bit between my palms, maybe half a teaspoon, started at her toes, working up toward her ankles with slow, steady strokes. Nothing fancy, just like you're putting lotion on, but going upward. 3 minutes per foot. Put those dollar store cotton socks on her.
There's this warmth, not hot, just warm.
By night 4, and I'm not exaggerating, her toes were actually pink.
Your feet look alive again.
No drama, no miracle cure claims, just steady, simple improvement. Here's the simple night routine, step by step. Before we start, here's something nobody tells you: timing matters. Best time? About an hour before bed, right after your evening shower or bath. Your skin's already warm and slightly damp, perfect for this to work. If you didn't shower, no problem. Fill a basin with warm water. Comfortable warm, not trying to prove something hot. Add a tablespoon of Epsom salt if you have it. The store brand is fine. Soak your feet for 5 minutes while you watch the news or read. If cold toes are your issue, do this. Dry your feet really well. I mean really well, especially between the toes. You know that spot between your 4th and pinky toe that never seems to dry? Get in there with the towel. Moisture trapped there is asking for trouble. Now, here's the key step everyone skips. Warm the oil first. Put about a teaspoon in your palm. Rub your hands together for 30-45 seconds. Feel how it goes from thick to silky. That's what we want. Start at your toes. Use your thumbs to make small circles on each toe, like you're trying to warm them up on a cold morning. Then, always stroke upward toward your ankle. Think of it like you're gently pushing the blood back up where it needs to go. 3 minutes per foot. If it feels too thick or sticky, add 3 drops of olive oil to your palms and keep going. Put on those cotton socks. Leave them on for at least 30 minutes, or sleep in them if you're comfortable. Many folks find they sleep better with warm feet anyway. If your hands feel stiff, try this. You know that morning stiffness where you can't open the pickle jar? Or when your wedding ring feels too tight even though it's been the same size for 40 years? This helps with that. After washing your hands with warm water and drying them, but leaving them slightly damp, use just a pea-size amount of the blend. Start at your fingertips and work toward your wrists. Here's what works. Make a circle with your thumb around the base of each finger, especially that thumb joint that gets ornery. Gentle pressure, like you're trying to loosen a stuck ring. Work each finger for about 20 seconds. Put on thin cotton gloves. You can watch TV, read, whatever. Take them off before bed if they bother you. George from my Tuesday coffee group wears his while doing his crossword puzzle. Says it's become part of his routine now. And if heels are rough, here's the tweak. Oh, the heel situation. Let's be honest, by our age, heels can feel like tree bark. But here's what actually works without those expensive foot treatments. Right after your shower, when your heels are soft, or after that foot soak I mentioned, pat them dry but not bone dry. Leave them just slightly damp. Take about a nickel-size amount of the blend, sit somewhere comfortable where you can reach your feet without straining. Work it into each heel for 60-90 seconds. Really massage it in, like you're trying to convince those heels to remember what soft feels like. Important. If you have any cracks that are open or bleeding, let those heal first. This isn't for open wounds, but for just rough, dry heels, you'll notice a difference by morning. Put those socks on and keep them on overnight if you can. One small temperature secret changes everything. Here's what took me 2 years to figure out, and I'm going to save you the trouble. Temperature changes everything with oils. Cold oil sits on your skin like a raincoat. It just won't absorb. Room temperature oil is better, but still sluggish. Slightly warm oil? That's the sweet spot. It spreads like butter on warm toast, sinks right in, and doesn't leave you feeling like you jumped in a vat of cooking oil. So, always, and I mean always, warm it between your palms first. Just 30-45 seconds of rubbing your hands together. Your body heat is enough. This one tiny change will make you actually want to use this stuff instead of dreading the sticky feeling. Tom, 71, lives in Michigan, loved his morning walks until his heels got so rough his socks would actually stick to them. His wife Patricia was after him to see a podiatrist. You know how much those visits cost these days. We started the heel routine, but I added one thing. After his morning walk, he'd wiped his feet with a damp washcloth and let his walking shoes air out by the back door. Not inside. Patricia didn't appreciate that, but on the porch. By day 5, his socks stopped catching. By day 10, Patricia noticed the foot odor that had been bothering her was gone. No expensive sprays, no doctor visit. Tom's been doing his morning walks pain-free for 6 months now. Now this one's interesting. Helen, 76, started using this for her cold feet, but after about 2 weeks, she noticed something else. Her ankles weren't as puffy by the evening. I looked into this, and it turns out that the upward massage motion we do, it helps move fluid that pools in our feet during the day. Helen now does this routine right before dinner, and she says her shoes don't feel tight by bedtime anymore. Here's how to dilute so it feels just right. Look, nobody wants to feel like they're covered in cooking oil for feet and legs. Mix equal parts of your Rosemary Castor blend with olive oil. So if you use a teaspoon of the blend, add a teaspoon of olive oil right in your palm. For hands and neck, go lighter. 1 part blend to 2 or even 3 parts olive oil. The skin there is thinner and doesn't need as much. Too strong smelling? Add more olive oil. Some folks are sensitive to rosemary scent, especially at night. No shame in diluting it more. Still too thick? Add a few drops of rubbing alcohol to your palm with the oil. Sounds weird, but it helps the oil spread and then evaporates, leaving just the good stuff behind. Avoid these easy mistakes. I see these all the time, and they're so easy to avoid. Using too much. More is not better. You're not frosting a cake. A little goes a long way. Forgetting to warm it. Cold oil feels awful. Always warm between your palms first. Skipping the cotton. Those socks and gloves aren't just for show. They keep the oil working instead of rubbing off on your sheets. Expecting overnight miracles? Give it 7-10 nights. Rome wasn't built in a day, and your feet won't transform overnight. Using it on broken skin. If you've got cuts, wait until they heal. This is for maintenance, not wound care. Why this matters beyond warm toes, let me explain. When we take care of these little things, bigger things improve too. Better sleep. Warm feet signal to your body it's time to sleep. It's biology. When your extremities warm up, your core temperature drops slightly, which triggers sleepiness. Many folks report falling asleep faster and waking up less during the night, or willing to move. When your feet don't hurt and your hands work better, you're more likely to take that walk, work in the garden, or play with the grandkids. Movement is medicine at our age. Fewer foot problems. Keeping feet moisturized and circulation moving can prevent a lot of issues before they start. Prevention is always cheaper than treatment. Mental boost. There's something about taking 10 minutes for self-care that improves your whole outlook. It's not vanity, it's maintenance. Like changing your car's oil. A quick safety reminder, external use only, patch guest on your forearm first. Avoid broken skin. Keep away from eyes. Here's a simple 7-night plan. Night 1, learn the routine, get comfortable with the amount and warmth. Night 2, 3, find your rhythm, adjust the dilution if needed. Night 4, 5, most people notice first improvements here. Warmer sensation, softer skin. Night 6 to 7, routine becomes automatic, benefits become consistent. Week 2, consider adding a second area. If you started with feet, maybe add hands. If something feels off, try this. It feels too greasy. You're using too much or not warming it enough. Cut the amount in half and really warm it between your palms. I don't feel anything. Some folks need a stronger blend. Add an extra half tablespoon of rosemary to your next batch. The smell bothers me. Dilute more with olive oil, or try making it with less rosemary. My spouse complains about the smell. Do it earlier in the evening so the scent fades before bed, or use it in a well-ventilated room. When it's cold, these 3 tweaks help. Warm your socks on the radiator or in the dryer for 2 minutes before putting them on. The extra warmth helps the oil absorb better. Do the routine right after your evening shower when the bathroom's still steamy. The humidity helps. Keep your oil blend on top of the refrigerator or near, not on a heating vent. It stays at the perfect temperature. Now, before we wrap up, let me be clear about safety. I'm putting this all in one place so you don't forget. External use only. This isn't for eating or drinking. Patch test first. Put a tiny bit on your inner forearm. Wait 24 hours. Keep away from your eyes. If you get it in your eyes, flush with water. Not for open wounds. Wait until cuts heal completely. Skip varicose veins. Don't massage directly over bulging veins. Watch for reactions. If skin gets red or itchy, wash with soap and water. Take a break. Start slow if sensitive. Try 2-3 nights a week before going daily. Careful on floors. Oil makes surfaces slippery. Wipe up any spills immediately. Give it 7 nights and see how you feel. Look, I've been sharing this with folks for 3 years now. Not everyone becomes a believer, and that's fine. But for those who stick with it for a full week, about 8 out of 10 tell me they notice real improvements. Warmer toes, softer heels, easier mornings. The best part? You're not spending a fortune on special creams or treatments. You're using simple ingredients that have been around forever, just combined in a way that makes sense. Try it for 7 nights. What's the worst that happens? You spend 10 minutes a night taking care of yourself, and your feet smell like an Italian restaurant. There are worse things. If it works, great. You've found something that helps. If not, you're out maybe $10. And you gave your feet some attention they probably needed anyway.